2 sovereigns in over 300 years. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah, we wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Thank you, everyone. I think I'll be okay now.
Alright, let's start reading these terminals. Select the topic to explore. Let's read this just to get some more insight. Sovereign acts as Lenegis' central control device for the spirit channeling ceremony. Each one is granted level 2 authority and an ID crest. A Danon subject serves as the base of its creation. In theory, ideal candidates possess equal affinity for every astral element. So wait, a Danon subject... So they use Danon subjects to make sovereigns? However, such aptitude is statistically rare to uncover within real-world conditions. As a result, most subjects die during the adjustment period, and stability is still not guaranteed for those who survive it. Oh, this is talking about people they've tried to experiment on, but they've failed, becoming sovereign. This instability coupled with the sovereign's powers of astral manipulation pose a high risk of to the security of Lenegis if left unchecked. As such, stabilization measures must be put in place via the support mechanism when utilizing the sovereign in the spirit channeling ceremony. Addendum 1. Addendum, I don't know why I said addendum. Addendum number 1 is no effective alternate methods to perform the ceremony have been found. Trials on Danon subjects are authorized to continue. The addendum number 2 is Unit 2 adjustments are a success. Subsequent adjustments are to be put on hold while extended observation takes place. Alright. The Maiden acts as the sovereign support mechanism for the spirit channeling system. Each one is granted level 2 authority ID crest. Brennan subject serves its function, providing the sovereign, and with the supplemental dark astral energy, it lacks in tandem with the Brennus Alma. During the ceremony, it's partly responsible for astral energy conversion, as well as maintaining stability over the sovereign's own powers. Additionally, the degree of intimacy between it and the sovereign has been observed to positively impact the level of stability in both subjects. Because of this, trial activations of the sovereign without maiden present are expressly forbidden. Furthermore, neither the sovereign nor the maiden are informed about the details of the spirit channeling plan. The addendum number 1 is mental instability in the maiden has been deemed the cause of the past sovereign's rampancy. Countermeasures must be considered. The second one is in line with plan adjustments. The current subject will have its maiden registration revoked and be returned to its original household. Okay. Good insight on that. Let's read about the lords. Each crown contest, 5 of the best qualified members of the Renan populace are chosen to act as lords, vying to serve as the next sovereign. During their tenure, they are granted level 3 authority, as well as any of the 5 elemental realms who have been stirring corresponding master core. Okay, this is like review, we knew this. They are also assigned an ID crest indicating their designated element. The selection process is based only on 1 astral artistry and physical and mental aptitude. Other variables such as age have no bearing whatsoever, because only the strongest go on to become lords. The position itself does not inherently make an individual any stronger. It should be noted, however, that lords are not the only individuals capable of drawing out a master core's power. All Renans must take part in the selection process, and acceptance of the position is mandatory. It is not allowed for those deemed suitable to decline. Okay, so that's like with Dohalim. The lords are not allowed to decline, they have to go through with it. Furthermore, in the event that an acting lord is incapacitated and can no longer serve in their position, a replacement must quickly be prepared. Unique Adjustment Index Test Subject Report. Following is a report on the second successful case of a sovereign test subject experimentation. Test subject 10105, given name Volrin, generation NA, unique adjustment index, ethnicity NA. Although subject possesses high latent potential, it exhibits significant mental instability along with a strong distaste for following orders. As such, the risk it poses surpass even those of less successful subject, itself a failure, and it is therefore under consideration for disposal. The addendum is that this is the first successful case in 300 years. Previously mentioned risk factors are now mitigated due to established control protocols. Subject is to be evaluated under the assumption that Plan 2 will proceed and be dispatched to Dana under the guise of serving as Lord. Alright. So Vorin was the first successful sovereign in 300 years of doing it, and then Alfin was also successful. Master Cores. Master Cores are instruments of powers containing astral energy that belongs to one of the 6 elements. 5 of these Master Cores, those water, wind, earth, light, and fire, are loaned to Renin lords at the time of Crown Contest. Only Dark Master Core is maintained inside the Forbidden Zone until the Rena Salma is ready to be reformed. Its existence kept top secret. Yeah, it makes sense. Dark is only found on Rena, and it's more rare. Underneath the Master Core's spherical outer layer is a force field crystal used for the purpose of astral energy containment and stabilization. Inside the force field, astral energy is stored in a dormant state. For the duration of their tenor, each lord competes in the Crown Contest to amass their allotted type of astral energy. In the event of an emergency, each lord may be allowed to withdraw from their respective stock of astral energy as necessary. However, the extent allowed is determined based on their own individual strength. Design flaws have been discovered in how the Venus Alma materializes. Be advised that Master Cores may resonate with other Master Cores located in the proximity and become unstable. Due to the successful regeneration of the Venus Alma, Master Cores will cease to be deployed and the Crown Contest will be permanently halted. Spirit Cores are end terminals used for collection of astral energy. When embedded in a biological subject, it establishes connections throughout its body. These connections are used to amass astral energy generated from physical activity, which is then emitted from the host body itself. Because this emitted energy is prone to diffuse, the host must be placed within the range of a spirit vessel for the energy to be collected. This means that Donans must be employed to harvest the astral energy for the purpose of the Crown Contest. Given difficulty in producing them, it is advised that spirit cores be retrieved from host bodies and reused upon their death. Spirit cores can also be embedded in Zugals and control them via astral arts. Increased physical load on a host body tends to produce increased astral energy emissions. Final confirmation of ideal workload to impose on host bodies without inducing death for maximum astral energy yields it's still pending. Alright. 2 more terminals. Lots of reading in this segment. Let's read about Lenegus. A large-scale astral energy converter that primarily converts the elemental decomposition of Dana's astral energy and transmits it to Rena. Oh, okay, so Lenegus is the... I knew Lenegus was like the in-between of Dana and Rena. So specifically, they convert the astral energy from Dana to Rena, but the only way they do that is with Lenegus in between. Dude, they're making Rena sound like... They said no one went to Rena. I'm really curious to see what ends up happening. Assuming we go to Rena in this game. I would expect to go to Rena. I'm really curious what's going on there. Activation and control of astral energy conversion is achieved by placing the Sovereign, Maiden, and Renaissama within the central core of Lenegus. Okay, the Sovereign, Maiden, and the Renaissama. Those are the 3 things needed. Simple, simple. It is comprised of classified and essential personnel resident zones around a large conduit, along with a defensive layer surrounding them. The outer layer is deployed upon activation, unlocking the central conduit, while simultaneously functioning as the stabilization mechanism. Due to its design, deployment of the outer layer is expected to cause damage to residential zones. However, because that only takes place during the final stage of the spirit channeling ceremony, no contingency plan to address said damage is needed. Until that phase, Lenegus serves as a central base of operations for the management and execution of the Crown Contest on Dana. Warning, any personnel with level 3 authority or lower is strictly forbidden from the classified zone. Any violators will be immediately executed. A massive spirit vessel placed on Dana for the spirit channeling ceremony serves as the tip of Lenegus conduit from which it separates. Upon landing in Danan waters, it extends 2 sets of conducting pathways. The vertical pathways connect to the center of Dana. Meanwhile, the horizontal pathways proceed to envelop the entire surface of Dana. Once activated, links to the biological spirit vessels placed in each realm, efficiently harvesting the planet's astral energy en masse. The accumulated energy is then transmitted to Rena via Lenegis. Okay, that's what I was going at. Because construction and adjustment take place in the Forbidden Zone's regulator area, Lenegis' outer layer must be deployed prior to launch. Intended to function semi-autonomously, only maintenance personnel are expected to manually interface it when necessary. No other personnel required for it to function. Detachable Harvester 1 was lost on Dana after exploding due to the rapidity exhibited by the Sovereign. Detachable Harvester 2's landing point will remain the same as that of the previous model. Detachable Harvest, is this related to the starship? This is due to the explosion of the previous model, which altered the planetary topography, enabling easier connection to the center of Dana. Alright, one more terminal. Oh, what was that? Was that the ranch? Oh, it's the ranch. I'm not gonna bother going back now, though. After welcome to stream. Sedative Mask. A device covering the wearer's whole face that restricts their mental activity. Oh, this is probably a mask that Alphen had. Covering the wearer's whole face that restricts their mental activity. It was developed for the purpose of pacifying prisoners. Medical applications are also recognized particularly as a means of preventing patients from sustaining mental trauma. However, doing so is not recommended, as prolonged use of the device carries the risk of inducing a number of reverse side effects. Due to the loss of production facilities incurred from the partial destruction of Lenegis, additional devices will no longer be manufactured. After receiving reports of a new robust form of rule emerging in Dana's water realm, a study was commissioned to investigate the matter in depth. The system is unique that it elevates only the Lord as a supreme authority while relegating both Renans and Danans alike to enslavement. Test subject 10-105, I don't know, 10-105-10105, however you want to say it, serves as the realm's current lord and has achieved this without the use of any special powers, drugs, or special devices. Rather, it has been done so by sheer governance. Given this method's effectiveness at population control, monitoring of the situation will continue. Collapse of the cognitive facilities via extreme mental repression rooted in violence and fear has proven to be key to this style of rule. Once a subject lost its autonomy, they become desensitized to fear and subsequently cease to prioritize even their own personal safety. Though such a state is ill-suited for commanding officers, it remains an effective way to cultivate disposable infantry and slaves for manual labor. Soldiers in Lenegis who have undergone this treatment will be asked to secure classified sectors as a trial. The results will be monitored. Alright. Good stuff, good stuff. I didn't even have to read all that, did I? I'm glad I did, though. I have a better understanding of the game's world now. Yeah, okay, we didn't have to read that at all, but hey, extra lore and world building. Love it. But yeah. Dude, this is like... I'm very interested on where this is going a bit. Very, very interested. Looking forward to seeing what happens next. Insanely. So wild that, like, of the 300 years they done this, only Alphen and Volrin were actual sovereigns. Are there more terminals? It's equipment for monitoring subjects. It probably... Okay. It's not a thing. Ooh, chest. But yeah, really crazy stuff going on. Also, it's interesting that anyone on Lenegis isn't aware of anything that happened on Dana yet. They talk about them as if the lords are alive. They're not aware of what happened on Dana. Also, they haven't really been in contact with Rena. Kind of makes me wonder what's happening with Rena. Because the people in Lenegis don't seem exactly like... You know, for being our enemies, they don't exactly seem like any different from some of the Danans. So, I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
Naori,
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people.
I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Renan never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell. His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... if I don't head back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen.
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me, and made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
Okay, so another thing, I don't think the game really answered it yet. I remember back in Thislam, they talked about how Alphen is like over 300 years old because he's been alive for a while. And how, you know, he was a test subject. In today in this stream, literally recently, they talked about how they like made him an experiment and they like re-engineered him. Want to go in more into what that means. Hopefully we get more of that, of what Alphen is. 'Cause he's not a robot. He probably is a human, but like they probably just did stuff to his genes and re-engineered him. Whatever that means, though. We'll have to wait a little longer, I think, to find out. Thank you for the heavy treat. This game is like teasing me. It's like, ever since we reached Lenegis, they're like, yeah, we have all these pieces of a puzzle, but we can't really put them together. And they're like, we're gonna find out the truth. We're gonna learn everything. They're teasing me on like, yeah, keep going if you want to find out what happens. It's wild. Which is why I was supposed to play Cold Steel today, but I really want to see where this goes. Honestly, it's the same difference. We'll do Cold Steel tomorrow, and it will still be the same. All will be the same.